Hey guys, it's Tegan Andrews of Worldwide Golf. We're going to be testing the Opus wedges around the green here at Callaway at ECPC. Let's do it. This is the W grind we're starting off with?
Yeah, so you've got to open the face more than likely to get enough height and spin on this.
Yeah.
So the W grind, if it's gonna work, it's not gonna bounce too much. If it's not gonna work, you're gonna probably find that it flies a little too far. You can't keep it on the ledge because of the high bounce.
Yep.
So there's kind of and we're again listening to that sound of the club hitting the turf and the ball a little bit muffled or a little bit too bouncy, if I were to come up with a term for that sound. A little bit cleaner there.
That's about as clean as I'm gonna get it, but it still didn't sound quite right to me. So what would we move into?
If we go to the T grind that you're hitting beautiful longer flop shots with, we'll see if this one slides under the ball any different than that W grind just did with this open face shot.
Cleaner. I just threw it a little too far.
A little more spin. You can see how much more spin that had on it.
Yeah.
Even though you flew it a little bit further, it spun so much it didn't roll off that ledge.
It stayed up.
There
that
it
was
is.
Super nice. There's that lower shot.
So that's the shot that the T grind is going to give you the ability to hit with a little bit more consistency and precision.
Yeah, that came out a little lower and just way spinnier and was able to stop very nicely. Just like that as well.
Yeah.
That's super nice.
2 out of 3 closer to the pin than the few that we got out of the W grind. So there's definitely a couple shots where the W grind maybe hurts you more than helps you compared to the T grind option. Nice.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Want to hit a bunker shot?
Yeah, let's try a bunker shot.
So T grind is in your hands here, relatively soft sand, short shot.
Yeah.
There you go. So trying to improve, and this is true about a lot of decisions you make with how you set your bag up. Certainly true with wedge grinds here. When you try and improve one aspect of how you play around the greens here, there's a potential trade-off or an adjustment somewhere else in the bag. So if you go to T grind and make these beautiful tight lie pitch shots better, like it appears it does, you gotta just adjust a little bit on some of these other shots. More speed out of the soft sand with the face more open so that it doesn't dig too much.
What about coming in with the S grind here? Do you have that in your hand?
I got the S grind here as well.
I want to try that out.
And again, the S grind does almost everything very nice.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite as spinny as that T grind on the flop shot.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as diggy on the longer shot as the T grind. So it kind of
could be a really good medium.
Does everything pretty good.
Yeah.
You'll hear that one make a little more of a thump against the sand.
That's the noise that I want to hear out of a bunker. Yeah, that thump. I can try. It is interesting what you're saying, where you do, if you make an adjustment, you kind of have to make the adjustment back in some regards, but you can also just do the S grind in a 56 degree.
Yeah, if you go with the 56, then you're not trying to baby the 54 as much because you got more loft on it. Yeah, see how it's making that little slap sound? Yeah. That's the sound that most players like the club to play through the bunker.
Absolutely, yeah, that's nice.
It's gonna come out a little bit higher, still with a lot of spin.
Yeah.
When the club goes into the sand very deeply, it doesn't displace quite as much sand, so you want the wedge to almost push up the sand rather than keep going down into the sand, and that's when the ball pops up higher.
That's what I'm feeling with that one.
And that sound that you just got there, that's essentially when it happens. Now you're faced with a shot that we see all the time on the golf course. You're next to the green, pins on the other side of the green, so way more green to work with than you have really to have to fly the ball.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of options. You could fly it a long way and with spin, you could hit it and roll it more, fly it very short.
I like to see this land kind of halfway between me and the hole and then roll the rest of the way. So maybe just a touch back in my stance and just kind of keep it.
Almost hit like a little baby draw swing to keep some spin off of it.
Just like that.
Nice. So the grinds that tend to feel really good to a lot of players on those have a little bit more bounce on them. So if that's a shot that you hit with your lob wedge a lot rather than like hitting the sand wedge softer.
Yeah. So
the S grind might get more of a vote for that shot. We'll see here how the turf gets kind of stuffed up here with this.
I'm very excited to see what this does.
This T grind.
It grabs it more, huh?
Yeah, so you'll feel it kind of stick a little bit more.
Yeah.
So you just have to be a little bit more aware of, your attack angle.
Yeah. Maybe not so much further back in my stance, but the same type of shot.
Yeah, shallow it out just a hair.
Just a
It's coming
tiny
out in a
bit.
pretty good window still.
Yeah, that's nice.
So the cool thing about tour pros like yourself, you can adjust after like you get one swing under your belt with a club.
Right.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's nice. What about over here into this stuff?
That's another good one to hit off of. So hard pan, kind of a dry lie, not a lot of grass.
Yeah.
That's the one that will bounce the most of it, pretty much any lie. It's gonna be firm conditions, hard to take a divot out of something like that.
Yeah.
So the shots that tend to be real hard to hit off of this stuff are the short, spinny ones.
That's very nice for that kind of shot.
There we go.
Yeah, let's see. I want to see how this S-grind reacts going to that longer shot that we started with.
Money.
Super nice.
So the sound of that's perfect.
Super nice, yeah. Okay, well, we have options.
Yeah, I would say if you had to travel all over the place on all the conditions with your game, your swing, the type of shots you hit the most, the S-grind is a hard thing to pass up on in the lob wedge there. And if you got to where it's ultra tight, ultra firm, and you knew you had some like short-sided shots as a possibility, the T-grind's really good too.
Yeah. What we ended up with was we have those tight lies where we need to hit those shots over the bunker where I opened the face up a lot, and I loved the T-grind there because that had so much control with it. It didn't have that little bounce push forward shot that makes the ball go too far when you miss it. I could even miss it a little bit with the T-grind and it would still maintain that spin, come out a little lower.
It was pretty clear the more you force yourself to hit a tight lie open face shot that the T-grind, you know, performed the best, no doubt.
Absolutely. But then overall, the S-grind, especially out of the bunkers, out of that soft pan lie, I guess we called it over there, that was kind of like really tight but also wet, that S-grind was just able to glide through all of it.
Skipped right through.
Super nice.
Definitely a better sound hitting the soft lie with the wider sole. And out of the bunker too, the S-grind you hit more of that thump slap sound that you know was really great out of the sand. The ball pops up in the air a little bit higher still with a lot of spin.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a little bit of a trade-off. I would say the trade-off that you're making if you pick the S-grind is probably the trade-off I would be making, because how often are you forced to hit that wide open flop shot compared to all the other shots that you hit with your 60, and the S-grind was like a 10 out of 10 on 100%. Almost every other shot. Yeah. Other than that wide open face shot.
When it comes to the fitting process in an indoor facility, how would you kind of determine lie and all the stuff that we've just done here?
So out of not doing it this way, hitting indoors, you kind of have to ask yourself, am I playing on courses that are real plush and the ball sits up, or is it always sitting down? Is the player likely to take on a shot where they want to open the club face or not? Or do they keep the face square?
A lot of people just like to keep it square the whole time.
And we'll see a lot of players, it's like, how do you set up to hitting a basic chip shot? They'll put the handle forward and the ball back. There's a grind that probably lends itself better to that person chipping that way. And we'll see someone do the exact opposite too. And it's not always tied to ability. You don't always see a tour pro setup, face open, cut across it, flop shot. You see them hit the ball back, low chip shots a lot too. Yeah. So as long as a fitter will ask some of those questions on the conditions the player's likely to be playing on in their area or their course, and kind of the types of shots they're comfortable taking on, you can kind of steer them towards a proper grind. And of course on all the indoor simulators, you'll have the ability to hit the shots more full, or the amount of speed a player's comfortable hitting different lofts, and then pick the lofts that make the most sense for gapping that way.
And if you're going to find a fitter that's actually going to ask those important questions, you can do so at a Worldwide Golf retail location near you, or go to worldwidegolf.com today.